Hello guys, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything music from death metal to Queen and everything in between. This is the second episode of ranking studio albums from meh to masterpiece, and on this episode I will be featuring none other than Metallica. We actually started this series out with DIMMU BORGIR. If you haven't watched that video, the link is right here. And even though it got a decent amount of views, I guess most of you guys are pretty shy to share your comments. So I hope that changes in this video. So make sure you leave your ranking in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. Okay, so this is pretty simple. What I'll do is I'll rank all of the Metallica albums from worst to best. So from meh to masterpiece. And it's only the studio albums, so don't expect to see the live ones or S&M or anything like that here. Okay, so as far as Metallica goes, their discography, it's a little iffy because they actually recorded 12 studio albums, but only 10 are counted in most of the sets. As far as I'm concerned, if they actually went into the studio and recorded the albums and then released them with the Metallica name on them, they're a Metallica studio album. I mean, that's common sense, right? But who am I to argue with the almighty Wikipedia? So anyway, here we go. At the very bottom, my least favorite Metallica album ever to be recorded, Lulu. Yeah, I know, it's a collaboration album between Metallica and Lou Reed. But see this? It says Metallica on it. Even if you flip it, it says Metallica on it. So as far as I'm concerned, they did go into the studio, they did record the album, and they did it as Metallica. So yeah, it is a Metallica record, it is a Metallica official album, and it sucks. I mean, here's the deal. If you take the Metallica name off of it, it's probably not all that bad. But when you have the Metallica name on it, you expect to hear Metallica. And this is not a Metallica record at all. I mean, I guess I understand what they were going for, but this is just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. I did not like it at all. In fact, as you can see, it's still factory sealed. I never even bothered opening it. I mean, I bought it because it was the only one missing in my discography, and I figured, whatever, I'll just buy it. And I bought it used from a different dude who bought it and never even opened it. So yeah. Next up, at number 11, this monstrosity of an album. I really didn't think anything was going to out the worst this. But then this came out. So yeah, but this, oof, this is the worst Metallica album ever. And you can't really blame Lou Reed on this one. This is all Metallica and it's all suck. All over 75 minutes of music. Oof, I mean, I guess Frantic is kind of okay. Some kind of monster. But yeah, it's long, it sounds like garbage. I mean, you all know this album, you know what I mean. And I know there's some people that really like this album, but hey, maybe they don't like Metallica. But seriously, I just don't get it. It's really long and it feels long. It feels like eternity. In fact, I was never able to sit through the whole album and just sit there and listen to it all the way through. Impossible. So yeah. Okay, album number 10, Reload. Now, Reload actually has some decent songs. Like I do like The Memory Remains and Fuel, and I guess The Unforgiven too. But it's not a great album. It also just feels like it draws on and on. It's a long album. And it's really hard to just sit there and listen to it all the way through. And in case you haven't figured this out yet, I'm an albums guy. I like to listen to a whole CD because I feel that you get the most out of the song in the right context. And there's an art to a track list too. And just being and listening to the mindset of the band at the time of that album as a whole album. So yeah, I don't enjoy this album too much. Okay, number 9, Death Magnetic. Now, Death Magnetic is another album with really cool songs. But here's the thing. This album came out right after Saint Anger, and the hype was crazy. I remember everybody was saying, you know, Metallica is finally getting back to the roots. They're gonna sound like all thrash metal again. They're gonna sound like back in the 80s. This is going to be the next Ride the Lightning. And it certainly was not. I mean, there's some really cool songs in it, but it's definitely not as awesome as everybody was saying it was going to be. So it was a bit of a letdown for me. I actually bought it and shelved it for a long time and then listened to it once again and still didn't really care for it. And then a few years later I decided to give it another shot, and it actually doesn't sound all that bad. The sound quality itself is not great. It's definitely a step down from Load and Reload, when the band actually sounded really, really awesome. And you can definitely hear them try to capture the essence of the early 80s thrash metal, but it just falls a little bit short if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. Your mileage may vary. So let me know in the comment section down below if you think I'm wrong, because I might be, but I'm not. Next on the list, this guy here, Garage Inc. Now, Garage Inc., again, it's a Metallica album. They did go into the studio and recorded it, and they released it as a Metallica official album. So why not count it in the discography? I mean, you might disagree with me, I'm going to rank it anyway. The deal with this album is that it's all cover songs. There's not one original song in it. It's all covers of different bands that they really enjoyed. And some of them are really, really good covers. In fact, a lot of the songs that are covered here, I actually like better than the original songs, like Turn the Page or Whiskey in the Jar. Sabracadabra too, I actually really enjoyed this version a lot better than I like the original Black Sabbath one. Tuesday's Gone is really good, Die Die My Darling is really good. But then once you get into disc 2, then it starts to feel really long. So I recommend, if you're gonna listen to this guy, just listen to disc 1 first and then listen to disc 2 another day. I mean, I do love Motorhead and of course Stone Cold Crazy. It's one of my favorite Queen songs ever. But yeah, too long. Okay, so lucky number 7, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Now this is a really solid album. I remember when it first came out, they would actually stream every song, and every song had a video clip that was being streamed live on YouTube. So you could listen to all of the songs as they were released, and that was pretty cool. And I listened to the whole album, and it took a long time, because it is a long album. I mean, keep in mind, this is a 3 CD version one. So if you want to listen to all 3 CDs at once, it'll take you about 2 hours. I mean, it gets long, but it's really cool regardless. Another thing I really like about this album is that it's very dynamic. I mean, it starts really fast with Hardwired and Atlas Rise. Then it slows down with Now That We Are Dead, and then it speeds up back again. And I really like some of the arrangements in the songs, like More to the Flame, Halo on Fire, and I do like CD 1 better than CD 2. And then CD 3 is kind of bonus tracks, so you get some covers and then some live versions. And I really like 2 covers on the 3rd CD, way better than the original one. Remember Tomorrow and When a Blind Man Cries. Okay, so number 6, we have Load. This might come as a surprise to some of you, but this is a really cool album. I mean, I hated it at first, as we all did, but I actually bought it not too long ago when I started doing the YouTube thing, and I keep playing it as background music for when I'm editing a video or stuff like that, and it really, really grew on me. 2x4 is cool, The House That Jack Built is cool, Until It Sleeps is really good, Hero of the Day is okay, Bleeding Me, Mama Said is really good. I mean, it's a pretty solid album. It doesn't really have a lot of peaks, it doesn't really have like really high points, but all in all, it's pretty steady, it's pretty solid, and it works. And James's vocals are really good, probably the best throughout the whole career. So yeah, if you think you hate this album, give it another shot. You might actually enjoy it. Okay, so finally we made it to the top 5. What do you think they're going to be? Don't forget to comment. Okay, so number 5, of course, the Black Album. Now this guy has been listened to. This guy's beat, and I like it. I like the fact that I listened to all of these so much. Now we all know what the Black Album means and what it is, but once you get past all the haters, you can really hear that it's really amazing album. I mean, I really loved it ever since it came out. I remember listening to it on the radio when it first came out. I was a little dude, and Enter Sandman was all over the radio. The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, and even Wherever I May Roam used to be on the radios all the time. Also, you would get some videos on MTV, and that was really cool. So yeah, it brought metal to the masses, no doubt. Even one of my cousins that doesn't like metal at all actually used to own this album. It was everywhere. So yeah, it brought metal to the mainstream, and it made Metallica what it is today. Most of us wouldn't have even heard of Injustice for All, or Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, or Kill 'Em All if it weren't for this album. So yeah, don't hate on this. Now the top 4 albums were really hard to rank, because they were all my favorite Metallica albums at one point or another. In fact, number 4 was my favorite Metallica album for the longest time. And that's Kill 'Em All. This is a great album. I mean, it's a classic, and it is the first thrash metal album to be released in 1983. I've actually made a video on that, so if you want to check it out, I will link to it here and in the description down below. I mean, we definitely had thrash metal influences before this album came out, but this is the first pure thrash metal album to come out. I mean, you can count Motorhead, Judas Priest, even Queen had probably the first thrash metal song ever, but this one started out a whole genre. So yeah, much respect. Now, of course, the sound quality is not the best, but this is raw and fast and awesome. So yeah, number 4, Kill 'Em All. Now again, number 3, this one is really hard for me to put at number 3, but then again, I mean, you can only have one number 1 and one number 2. So yeah, number 3 goes out to Ride the Lightning. This is an awesome album. I mean, the difference between this guy and Kill 'Em All is ridiculous. It's better written, it's better produced. I mean, it's better in every aspect. And Metallica starts to get more epic with longer songs and better arrangements. So yeah, number 3, not a bad spot, goes to Ride the Lightning. And now for spot number 2, this was a really hard choice to make. I mean, I love these two albums so much, but there could be only one at the very top of the list. So number 2 goes out to
OMG,
Master of Puppets. I mean, Battery, Master of Puppets, The Thing That Should Not Be. You can name every song from memory at this point. This is a great album. It's fast, it's heavy, it's mean, long songs, great arrangements. Great album. And finally, we get to the top choice, and I think you all know what it is. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please drop me a like if you did. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel like your man if you haven't yet. And if you want to support the channel and help us out big time, make sure you hit the join button down there. A little goes a long way, and we surely do appreciate it. Okay, so at the top spot of this list, And Justice for All. Amazing album. And it just sounds so fucking heavy. And I mean, I gotta tell you, the Justice Tour is one of my favorite live performances by any band ever. They were on point, and you can really tell that they were really kicking ass on this album. The songs are amazing, the arrangements are great, and James's voice is starting to get a lot better from here on out, at least for the next 2 or 3 albums. I mean, when you compare his voice on the Justice for All album to the Master of Puppets album, you can definitely hear a difference. So yeah guys, this is my favorite Metallica album. At least it is today. Okay, so let's recap really quick. Number 12, Lulu. 11, Saint Anger. Number 10, Reload. Number 9, Death Magnetic. Reload at number 8, Hardwired to Self-Destruct at number 7. Load, number 6. The Black Album, number 5. Kill 'Em All on number 4. Ride the Lightning, number 3. Master of Puppets, 2nd. And Injustice for All at the top of the list. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time. Pat out, metal on, dudes.